ethnicity or race or anything. At any time and any time you want, you can learn the Quran, right? I actually help one uncle, and he's 70 years old as well. And sometimes at Maghrib Salah, he comes to me and he reads his surahs to me, and he asks me, can you just listen to my recitation, right? And his son-in-law is a scholar, his daughter is a scholar, but he said, I never got the opportunity to learn, so now I want to learn. So, mashallah, anyway, the purpose of the maktab and the point of the maktab, right? Although, like I mentioned, age and, a place of origin is not something that's important, but it's better that anything you do in regards to your deen, right? Especially learning the Quran, it's best to be done when you're young, right? Why? Because you have a lot of free time, right? Number one. Number two, your ability to learn is it's easier. You don't have responsibilities. You can learn. You can dedicate. So mashallah, and just through experience, you notice that when you're younger, you're able to finish. We have one girl actually. She finished. She's just turned 8 years old. She memorized memorization of three juz of the Quran: the 30th, 29th, and the 20th. Today she finished the 28th. So it's not something that's difficult. It's not something that's hard. Qari Basit, we all know Qari Basit, right? At the age of 10 years old, he memorized the entire Quran. How many of you guys are 10? 10? See, at your age, he had memorized the whole Quran. What age did he start, right? Was he like born knowing the alphabets? No, I mean, they started from a very young age, but it's possible, right? Youngsters, they tend to have, mashallah, a fresh brain, and they're able to, when they put the dedication, able to memorize. So the point of the maktab is for that purpose. It's for you to learn the Quran. It's for you to learn proper tajweed and pronunciation of the Quran. It's for you to understand the Islamic sciences, the basic Islamic sciences like Shahada, the 5 pillars of Islam. We may know the 5 pillars of Islam, but a deeper understanding of to why, right? How many times a day do we pray? What is the sunnahs? What is fard? What is mustahab? What is wajib? What is all these different terminologies? What is Ramadan? What is fasting? All these different things, the importance of it, stories about the Sahaba, stories about the Prophets, all these different concepts, inshallah, will also be, discussed within the Maktab system, which gives you a foundation, right? It gives you a foundation, a correct foundation, for you then to continue your life, whatever, age limit Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives you, whatever amount of life He gives you, that you're able to continue with that basic understanding of deen between right and wrong, what is necessary, what is not necessary, what is asked of me, what is not asked of me, and be able to read the Quran. And then ultimately, you keep this process going. We all sat once in a maktab. I was also once 5, 6, 7 in a maktab. We also had teachers. We also went through it. We also had to sacrifice our summers. We also had to sacrifice the hours given after school. You go to school for 8 hours and you got to come, quickly change, and go to the Quran class. We went through that as well. It's just part of the process. And at the end, it's 100% worth it, right? So inshallah, that's the purpose of the maktab. In fact, this entire musalla should be packed with people eager to come in to learn. But, sadly and unfortunately, inshallah, they're studying other places, but unfortunately, a lot of people don't have that desire. They don't see that Quran is necessary. They see that, learning the basics of your deen is not something that's important. And, you kind of see the backlash of that later in life. So it's best to study it now, and this is the importance of maktab. So alhamdulillah, we'll go through some of the slides, and alhamdulillah that we're about to finish the summer program, and we're going to start basically you can say full-time, 4 days a week, after school maktab, and all the times, the dates, and everything. Inshallah, we'll go through that. And I know before we go through it, I know a lot of people, they have, after school programs, karate, soccer, whatever the other, things that are, it's there, it's right, it's part of life. But I highly encourage that you come to all 4 days, right? You come to all 4 days. Why? Because when you're building, right, you're building a structure, you're building a foundation, it has to be every day, it has to be constant, right? You have to always do it. Now, if you do it once here and touch it a little bit there, a little project here, it's not going to be the same. So I encourage, inshallah, that you think about it, and when you want to dedicate your time or your child's time to the maktab, try to the best that you can, 4 days a week. Weekend thing, and once in a while, it's not going to work, right? You're building something, right? So inshallah, we'll begin. I think I froze or something. Yeah, something. questions before we continue? Yeah. Yeah. So good question. So the difference between the summer and the difference between the regular 4 days a week one. So in the summer, obviously the timings are going to be different. In the summer, it was more morning time. In the summer, sorry, in the regular season, it'll be more after school, right? Later in the afternoon, we'll have that, and it'll be the same duration, about an hour to hour 15 minutes, and um, the setup will technically be the same, as you can kind of see how the classrooms are, and the student to teacher ratio, it's a little bit, it's less than the summer, so that the teacher and the student can have more ample time, and that not only do they are able to recite, to read, correct, but also the Islamic studies. There's times for that. There's time for that as well. I think it's working now. Yeah. And then, I mean, that's pretty much that's the difference regarding that. We will have 2 sessions as well in the fall, but generally there's not too much different. There's not too many differences. Just the timing, also the that it will be more constant. It's not going to be, just a small period of time. It's going to be a long period of time, and it's very important. The amount, for example, that we sectioned out for summer in the Islamic studies was just for the summer. Now, whereas what you're going to learn in regards to Islamic studies throughout the rest of the year is going to be a lot more intense, a lot more in detail, right? The Quran and the Qaida or the memorization will be more so. For example, like in 1 month, let's say you were already a student that kind of knew how to read the Quran and you were doing some memorization or reading, you're just doing a little bit. Now it will intensify, and then you'll see more progress from the weekday as well. So not too much difference, but minute, major differences. So the goal of this Maktab program is to provide children with the opportunity to learn proper Quranic recitation, obtain a comprehensive Islamic education, and receive the necessary training to become familiar with Islamic norms, values, tarbiyah, to remain steadfast through the challenges they face in society. So tarbiyah is also very important. Tarbiyah is, you can define it in regards to good manners, akhlaq, whatever. But there's also in Islam we have an Islamic social etiquette, right? So that is also something that is supposed to be founded and established throughout the maktab system as well. Manners, good manners, akhlaq. This is also something that's part of it. For example, our teachers used to tell us that it's not just what you're learning. It's not just the Quran that you keep to your heart as you walk around and you come to the class and you should have wudu. But the mat that you sit on, the desk that you have, the area that you are, studying in, all of that is part of the process, right? Sometimes we have students, they write on their desks, right? That's not good, right? That's not good tarbiyah. Right, so you must respect the carpet, you must respect the desk, you must respect even in fact the way you sit. Right, a lot of our teachers they wouldn't allow you to, they would say that's not good to put your feet out in front of the teacher. There's certain ways that you should sit. These are all different etiquettes in tarbiyah that will also inshallah be taught and learned in the maktab as well. What is our responsibility? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has showered upon us endless amount of bounties. So I'm not going to read this whole thing. I'm just going to summarize that. What is our responsibilities as parents? Right? There's a responsibility for the parents, and there's a responsibility for the students. For the parents to have, I mean, it's gonna come. You're gonna have time. There's gonna be days that you're just gonna be like, I don't want to forget about it. I don't want to take this kid to the maktab. I don't have the energy to drive them and bring them back and wait for them. Sometimes parents, they wait in the car. Sometimes parents, they just drive around. Sometimes they actually have something to do within that hour and 15, 20 minutes. For the parents to always have that encouragement and to understand that my child should never miss 1 day of maktab. Except if there's a legitimate excuse, someone is sick, you have something really to do. Other than that, it's our responsibility, right? 1 day of missing that lesson, 1 day of not being able to come, what happens? It kind of just throws you off track, right? If you have a train and it's going full force, and then you just remove one of the tracks, just one, not the whole thing, just one little track from the thing, right? What's going to happen? The whole train is going to derail and it's going to fall and everything, a big disaster, right? So as much as possible, you should have this understanding for parents that is very important. Just as my child goes to school, you don't skip school all day. They have to learn their math, they have to learn their science, they have to learn their English. They're gonna have to learn this as well. Because at the end of the day, the education and the currency of the hereafter is not, it's not math, science, or English. Although those are important, but in the same token, in the same hand, this also is very important, right? This is actually real beneficial knowledge. This is ilmun nafi', right? This is actual beneficial. That is knowledge for the dunya, which you need to just kind of go through in order to make, ends meet and pay the rent eventually, and buy yourself a car, this, that, and the other. But what will give you barakah and blessings and give you a nice hereafter will be the ilm of what you gain from the maktab system. So for the parents, you have to be encouraged. Because sometimes you might also not get encouraged. You might not also, I also have that, forget about it today. I have to come and listen, I have to take you here, and I gotta stand, and I gotta wait, right? So that's number one. Number two, for the students, right? And I know it's gonna be hard. You just pulled an 8-hour shift at school, now you gotta run home, quickly eat something. Sometimes you gotta eat it in the car, right? And you come to the maktab, and now you gotta sit here for another, hour and a half, 2 hours, right? Don't lose hope. Don't lose encouragement. Don't, upset your parents. I don't want to go start a tantrum. This is your responsibility as much as it's your parents' responsibility. So our Prophet ﷺ has mentioned, all of you are shepherds and you will be asked about your flock. So as a parent, those children that you have, those are your flock. If you allow the flock of sheep to just go wherever and graze for wherever, the wolf is going to come and eat them. We live in a time like that. If you let your children do whatever and watch whatever and not have that responsibility over them and think that, they'll make the better decision, the wolves are going to come and they're going to take their iman. I was just speaking to a sister on Thursday, a little bit off topic, but I was speaking to a sister, a Muslim sister, on Wednesday or Thursday for almost 1 hour. And she said that my son has been faced with addiction for 12 years. For 12 years, my son is 27 now, so 27 minus 12, from what age he was addicted to drugs, and he's on the verge of going insane if he's not already there. And I asked her, I said, I don't want to be rude or anything, but what did you do Islamically for your child? She said, nothing. I said, did you ever put him in a maktab? No, we love Allah, Allah is with the, all this fairy tale stuff. I said, well, what did you do? Did you ever take did you ever take your child to a maktab? Did you ever take your child to some sort of Islamic anything? No, I didn't, we were busy. My husband's a doctor and I had no time, and I started making all these excuses. I said, well, there you go. What did you do in regards to your flock? So both ways, encouragement on both sides. Inshallah, that's our responsibility. And then our curriculum. So it's very simple. It's not something that's difficult or far-fetched. Number one, the Quran, teaching qaida with correct pronunciation, reading the Quran, and memorization of surahs. Very simple, right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't, ask from us all these concepts. It's not like math and science and, geometry and algebra, all these types of things. Otherwise, I would have been the first person to run away. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made it easy. The qaida is very easy, right? The alphabets are very easy. You just, one time you have to learn it correctly. One time you learn it correctly, for the rest of your life, you'll read it correctly. One time you learn it wrong, you're gonna have a tough time until, even if you go and you realize you're reading it wrong, then to fix that, it's gonna take forever, right? So it's best at a young age, you come and you learn the Quran correctly with a proper teacher that has the qualities of being a proper teacher. So pronunciation, reading the Quran, and memorization of surahs. How to memorize, the process of memorizing, right? So number two, Islamic studies. Now you've learned Quran, you've learned tajweed, so how do you apply it? How do I pray? How many sunnahs are in Salatul Dhuhr? How many sunnahs are in Salatul Fajr? How many in Maghrib? Okay, how am I supposed to pray? What's the process of praying, right? Do I just bounce up and down? Or do I, what's the khushu, what's khudu? All these types of things are going to be, inshallah, taught over with our An-Nasiha series. Whoever's familiar with An-Nasiha, it's going to be a different series. In the summer we used the Safar. It's kind of similar, but An-Nasiha is, mashallah, it's been around forever. They're very nice, very good quality, color-coded, different, it's very appealing and appeasing to the students. So it's not just black and white something. So it's very nice. Many of the Islamic schools and many of the maktabs and whatnot use this syllabus as well. We'll learn about fiqh, which is the laws of for example, salah and Ramadan, and etc., all those things. And then du'as as well. So the book itself, the An-Nasiha book, it has portions. It has portions of hadith where you'll learn and memorize a little bit of the words of the Prophet ﷺ, history, stories of the prophets, how to basically pray and make wudu, du'as. So it's 5, 6, 7 different main subjects of Islam that we'll learn over as well. But we do it in a very small percentage, a small amounts. So it's very easy for you to learn and grasp, inshallah. And then these are the books. So the easy Quran reading is the qaida that we'll use. Or they also call it the Baghdadi qaida, which is probably one of the best qaidas that are out there. It's kind of long. Those that have seen Nurani qaida or whatnot, it was a little bit shorter. This is a little bit longer. It is longer. It might take 6 months to 8 months, to maybe even a year to finish. But when you finish this, you're going to finish with quality. That's for sure. You're going to finish with quality. For example, Fatha, the lesson of Fatha will have 3-4 pages. The lesson of Kasra will have 2-3 pages. Whereas in the other books, and those of course are good books as well, but it'll have a couple of examples. 6 examples, 7 examples. This allows you to constantly understand the formula and understand the concept fully. The second, of course, the Quran, and we have our Quran that we'll read, and based on the level that you're at. And then these are the An-Nasiha Islamic curriculum books. So we start with level 1, then the next year level 2, 3, 4, 5, it goes all the way to level 8. And the good thing with these, and that a lot of people don't do, and I really encouraged this Maktab to start this, was to also have, I don't think we have it here, but it comes with a workbook as well as a textbook. So when you learn the concepts of, for example, wudu or du'as, then there's a workbook where there's like homework, or classwork or homework. So immediately you apply that. And the best way of learning something is to apply application, right? So we'll have that. So inshallah, we'll have 1, 2, 3 books. Or if you're on the Quran, 1, 2, 3, and inshallah that'll be your the thing. And we also encourage the students to come with like a little side bag or a backpack dedicated just for Maktab, right? We'll also provide a notebook with a binder with all the steps. I think it'll be shown here. But basically on the calendar or on the student sheet, you'll have the name of the student, you'll have the lessons, whether it's Quran or Qaida, we'll have the lessons in regards to the Islamic studies. We'll also have like surahs, and then date and teacher signature, parent signature. So that's our communication. So that's the teacher, student, parent communication. We can't sit there all the time and talk to the parents and okay, this is the homework, write it down. So when we write the homework down and we sign it, this says that this is where they're at, this is the level they're at, and this is what we've guaranteed it with our signature. And we expect that the parents review that as well, and tomorrow give the signature that yes, my child has read, yes, my child has practiced. Again, you don't need to study for 45 minutes, 1 hour, 10 hours, 11 hours, no. 10 minutes, just practice your qaida. 10 minutes, practice your Quran. 10 minutes, look over your Islamic studies, and that's all you need. If you can give 15, 20 minutes every night after Maktab or in the morning, that's it. That's all it's needed, right? It's not this huge concept. So, inshallah, we'll have 3 books, either the Qaida or the Quran, the workbook, and the textbook.
So you guys provide the books?
Yes, there is. We'll provide the books. There is like a book fee. I think it's around $35 for the books, and then that's it. That's your books. Yeah. So we've ordered the books coming. They come from England. This comes from Egypt, and so it's it takes a little bit of time, but we have the books, and inshallah we do provide it. Yeah, you guys don't need to get it. So there are some rules, and again, what's the purpose of rules? The rules are to keep, in order, to keep an atmosphere, to keep an ambiance. So this is a maktab, so we would like to keep it like a maktab, right? So students should arrive on time. But with regular school, do you come whenever you want? Do you come like forget about I'm gonna come 11? I'm gonna come at lunchtime. That'd be nice, right? Because I'll go lunch and I'll go back home. Right? But so here too, you have to come on time and you leave on time. So students must arrive on time and be picked up on time every day, right? So this is for the parents also. So if class starts, I don't know, 5 o'clock, we should be here at least 4:55, 4:50, right? And also in the reverse, that if, for example, 6 o'clock class is over, we should be here at 5:55, right? 5:50, be here a couple of minutes early so that the admin doesn't also have to wait. Students must come to class wearing clean clothes, so try to the best. We don't say that you have to wear Islamic attire, right, like a thobe or whatnot, but at least come presentable, come to class with wudu, right? Students must come to class wearing modest attire. The girls should wear hijab, the little girls, or the sisters or whoever are coming. Observed by the girls and boys are encouraged to wear kufis, the topis, right, and the hijab. Students must be respectful to the teachers. That's something that we should create, right? That's tarbiyah, right? Our teachers, there must be a type of respect. That's something that's dying, right? This concept of respect, whether it's to parents or teachers, it's kind of dying away. So, but we want to encourage that the respect for teachers, the respect for the desk, the respect for the room, the classroom, and as well as even the bathroom should be kept. Number 6, students are not allowed to leave the facility on their own. That's why we encourage the parents to come a little early, come a little bit to drop off and pick up. Students are not allowed to use any electronics in class. So parents, please, if you have older students and they have phones, try to at least advise them this is the time I'll pick you up. You don't have to text me, you don't have to call me. Don't worry. Even though we want to leave you here, we'll still pick you up. So number 8, students are not allowed to bring any item to class that can be a distraction. And number 9, students are not allowed to bring food or drinks to class. Water is fine, but anything else we'll try to avoid, inshallah. Frozen again. Oh, no. Yeah. Yeah, it's working now. Parents should, so guidelines for parents. Parents should show importance to their child. We kind of discussed this already. So parents should show encouragement. Students should also show encouragement. There should be a mutual wanting to come. Number 3 is very, very important. Number 3, number 4. We also have number 5. We have a WhatsApp group. So all the parents that are registered, they can come to the WhatsApp group. They could join the WhatsApp group. All the details, for example, if there's no class or class is late or whatever the case may be, you can see all the updates there. And the whole concept of I didn't know won't be there. That's how, it's hard to text everybody or call everybody. This is, it's a great way. But number 3 and number 4, again, from the parent side, we've taught Maktab for years, right? The number one reason and the number one cause of a child's, failure or not having much progress is the parents don't care. As sad as it may be, the parents just don't care. And one of those main things are that the parents don't sign the binder. So if we don't see the parent's signature, then we know that you didn't read the sabak that day, you didn't read the lesson that day, which tells us that the mom or the dad was not there, didn't care or didn't come to ask about your homework. So it's very important for the student to be at the level they need to be at with the parents' supervision as well. Yeah. And I believe all this will be sent in the WhatsApp as well. Okay, so this is the daily log that I was mentioning. So you have a date, you have the Quran or the Qaeda, the pages, the page number, the line given. So we really, really dummy it down. So this is the exact page, this is the exact lines, this is the Islamic studies assignment, this is the tajweed lesson, any comments, they need to work on this again or, whatever the case may be. Teacher signature, parent signature. So literally, even from the parent side, they shouldn't say well, I didn't know which page it was, Then if that's the case, then we'll talk to the teachers. Other than that, to the little tiniest details we write, the page, the lines given, etc., so that the parents, they understand and they can engage with their children as well. Assessment form, this is separate, and then the details. So the monthly fees is $100 a month for members, $120 for non-members. So I guess it's good to be a member. Book fees is $35 one time. There's a 30% sibling discount. There are financial aid for those that need it. And then the class schedule, I think, yeah, so this is the summer program. I think this is regular program. Yeah. So 4:15 Monday through Thursday, 4 days, 4:15 to 5:30, and then 5:30 to 7. Um, and then the class first day of school will be the 12th of August, and then May 23rd. That's around Ramadan. So most likely Ramadan will be off. So this is the staff. We have Ustada Khadija. We have Sheikh Fawaz. He's not here today. And so mashallah, their details are there as well. And all this will be sent, inshallah, on WhatsApp as well. Um, I think that is it, yeah. So if there's any questions, inshallah, we can take some of that. And then those that haven't registered, all the registrations are online. You can register online, and then we can send the details. So I encourage everyone to get on the WhatsApp group. If you're not, it's a separate WhatsApp group from all the MHMA stuff. So it's a WhatsApp group dedicated to the Maktab. And then also, those that have friends or relatives, please encourage them as well, because some of the other masajid that are locally around here, some of them don't even have maktabs, or some of them, their maktab system is a little bit, it's not that great. But inshallah, they're doing work. But nonetheless, the opportunity is here. If you're from Mountain House, this is the best place. And again, people do study online as well, and I get it. But online, although it's a great process and a great thing, you work it out whenever you want, but it'll never be authentic. It's like you got your driver's license finally, and I'm driving the car through a video game. Did you ever learn how to drive? Did you actually feel how to drive a car? No. Did you sit in a car and rev the car and maybe get in a little fender benders, whatnot? No. So it's not the same process. Although yes, you've got your license, you're driving the car, but it's it's through a video game. It's never the same thing. So you get the job done, but it's not the same thing. So we recommend everyone to come and encourage to come in person and sit, because the environment is there. Also, some of your students might befriend others that are also here, Muslims, and that becomes like a community on its own. So inshallah, so please encourage others to come as well. So if there's any questions, we don't want to hold you guys too late. If you haven't studied, if you haven't had the test, the assessment test in the summer, then there will be a assessment for the new fall class, yeah. But we could do the assessment today as well. Yeah, we could do it today as well, inshallah. Or I don't know, we could either do it today or we could do it next week as well. But whatever you think. If they're here now, we can do it now, inshallah. Yeah, yeah. Shouldn't take too long. Just basic stuff. Just what level you're actually at, inshallah. Yeah. We could do it today, yeah. So everyone's new? So all of these, everybody. Okay. And nobody else. So 2, 4, 6. Okay. Anything else? So if you haven't registered, inshallah, you can send. Okay. That all should be on the link. Okay. Okay, I'll talk to Brother Owais then, inshallah. Yeah. Do you have Brother Owais' number? Okay, I'll give you his. We can. Yeah, we can share it. He'll take care of that. Okay, so we could at this time we can take the assessment, inshallah, and then we could split it. Shouldn't take too long, a few minutes, and then that'll be that, inshallah. And if anyone hasn't registered, they can, inshallah, go in the back, and then we have the link and Brother Wais's phone number and contact. Inshallah. Okay, subhanallah, bihamdillah, inshallah. Anything else? The papers, yeah, that's why I was saying that. Yeah, on regular paper. Yeah, it's not too difficult, inshallah. Okay. Okay, inshallah. So we'll do the assessment, inshallah. We could send some this way.